Alright, so I want to make this clear. It is just a belief what I'm going to say. Just a belief. I've covered this stuff so many times, but we're going to go over it again just for the benefit of some. Got Rami talking about the timeline of events here, and it's important to understand. Now, when most people talk about a chase, right? There was a chase. They are referring to what they hear on the non-emergency call that George placed. I question that as being a chase. And they always point to the wind. You can hear the wind noise. Well, I've gone over that so many times. Go watch a video where somebody shoots a video outside and they're just standing there talking. And you'll hear wind come and go. And it'll make that same exact noise, folks. Okay? I tested this with other phones myself, and I cannot reproduce the wind noise by running. Others couldn't either. So if you want to get scientific-y about it, go right ahead. Go find out what George's make and model cell phone were, and that if he was using hands-free or not, or anything to that nature. I don't think he was, but and retest for yourself. Okay, see if you can reproduce that wind noise by running down the street. Good luck to you. It is just my belief that George was moving fast, but he wasn't running. I don't even think he was really jogging. If he was jogging, it wasn't very much of a very fast one. Given to where I think he ran from, and where he ran to, and what he said at both points, and what time transpired in between those two. It is my contention, my belief, that he lost sight of Trayvon almost immediately after Trayvon started running. Now people say, well, he could have ran down Twin Trees Lane, which would have put him out of sight of George rather quickly. And the other one, which is what I believe, is that George was watching Trayvon nearing this path here, and then when he turned around, Trayvon started running, and quickly turned around this corner, heading south. And this is with a flash. All right, this is someone take the what's her name? I forget her name. The cop who took the photos here. This is you could see even with the flash here that it is very dark back there. We go back and look at some other photos. Look at, you can't even see, and she's got a pretty bright flash going on here, and she can only see a few houses down, and you can see how dark it is. Now imagine that without that flash on. It is extremely dark back there. Okay. So when George, now we don't have, she didn't take a night shot. Well, this is good. Okay. So this is the path Trayvon traveled. It's more off to the right here, where George could probably still see Trayvon in his view. It's my guess that Trayvon ran down this way and like that. And that's what George saw when he said to the dispatcher, shit, he's running. That's what I'm saying. And it took George about 8 seconds to get out of his car. So it doesn't sound like he's in much of a hurry to get out of the car. When you go watch Cops, I've demonstrated this before, the show Cops, and when they're sitting in a car and somebody runs off running and they run out of the car, they're out of that thing immediately. George takes 8 seconds. Okay? And then George makes his way down this path in a fast walk, is what sounds to me. His voice does jitter around a bit where you can tell he is moving, and it's hard to maintain a talking voice. Makes his way down to about here and says to the dispatcher, where's that other picture? There's the daylight pictures. He says to the dispatcher, once he gets to around here somewhere, when he can look down this way, says to the dispatcher, he ran. As if to say, he's gone. Yeah, it indicates to me that he's feeling that, well, Trayvon's gone now. You guys might as well not even come out because he's gone. He ran. Okay, that's what he's telling him. So he's standing here. Now, all of that transpired in about 30 seconds. From the moment he says, well, here, let's bring up the times. Let's look at the times. Okay. This is not about you, Rami. It's more like about people with Puro. They don't even, critically look at these things, right? All right, so where are we? Oh, I'm up here somewhere. All right, so there, right there. It's 7:11 and 41. Shit, he's running. That's where he sees. He's running. Right? Takes him, look at 3 seconds to even open the door. Shut his car door. 7-8 seconds. And before he, I swear, even after that, once he shuts his car door, I swear you can hear him zipper up his jacket. Could be wrong about that. That's just what I think I hear. So he's more concerned about the little chill than he is running after the kid. Alright, anyways. So, here we go, and then we follow along here. And here we see, at 7:12 and 11, George says he ran. Okay? And that was it. He sits on the phone for another minute and a half talking to the dispatcher. Okay? A minute and a half. He's just, what I believe, he's just kind of hanging around this area. I don't know what he's doing, but that's, you can hear on the phone. He's just hanging around. Alright, so going into the timeline, what do we got? This is the timeline that Serino put in his report. And I've gone over this before, but it's worth going over again. As we can see the call time that he put as the event starting for at 7:11 and 12 seconds when they received a call from George. Now we've gone over the problem with that. We look at the event report of the non-emergency call. It's a non-emergency, but George is going to get him anyway. But it's a non-emergency. Okay. So we can see that they chose this time here, the created date. Why did they do that? It says right here, connection. Well, perhaps, I don't know how these reports are constructed or what exactly those mean. It seems to me that they should have used the connection date. But I go further down the report here, and I look at, well, look, at this same exact time they used, all right, 7:11:12. By that time, the first entry into the computer looks to me as though already a whole bunch of information has been conveyed. And the dispatcher hits enter onto the computer, and boom, it goes into the report at 7:11:12. So clearly, this seems to indicate that George called earlier. Perhaps he called at 7:09 and 34 seconds. All right. That seems to be the consensus for the people who look critically at this case. Alright, so we got that time. Now, I didn't bother looking at when they ended the call or anything like that, or what else they're talking about here, or see if they got that right. What I was interested in next is this one. The first call by witness 11, right there on that corner, when she placed her call. They have it at 7:16 and 43 seconds. Well, since we know that they screwed up the start time for George, they may have screwed up that time as well. So I can't say with any certainty. We do not have a similar event report to look at to compare. Now I'm hoping if and when they release that, it'll be exactly in this format. And then we can compare the two times, the two connection times. Then we will have an almost near exact timing from when Trayvon, the second he ran, to the moment they met where they met. Okay? Then we'll know. And we won't need Dee Dee's call, right? We'll just have that, and that'll be good enough. Because, as I was saying with Trayvon's phone records, we got two different time sets. We got T-Mobile, and we had the Seminole County Sheriff's Dispatch. Now, I don't think they're probably all that off, but they very well may be off. And the way T-Mobile works, when you place a call, I called them and I asked, okay? When you place a call, I first asked them, if I place a call at 7:05 and 58 seconds, how will that be indicated on the call time? Will it show up as 7:05? And she said yes. Whether it's 7:05 and 1 second or 7:05 and 59 seconds, it shows up as 7:05 call time. Then the second and most important question was, okay, so the next thing I see on the bill is consists of a 4-minute call. So Trayvon gets his call at 7:12. He could have gotten that call anywhere between 7:12:01 or 7:12 exactly and 7:12 and 59 seconds. He could have gotten that call. And then the minutes indicate 4 minutes. Okay. This is the question I posed to T-Mobile. Because some people will say, well, the call ended at 7:16 then, right? If it says 7:12 and it says 4 minutes, clearly it ended at 7:16. Well, no, it's not clear like that, because they roll their minutes up. The call could have ended at 7:15 and 01 seconds to 7:16 exactly. If it went 1 second over 7:16, they say any fraction of a second is counted up as a whole minute. That's what they say in their terms and conditions, and what the representative said when I asked her. So this tells us that the phone call could have ended when it ended for Dee Dee, when she says the phone call ended, or when we look at the cell phone records, 4 minutes. Could have ended at 7:15:01 to 7:16 exactly. So now we get this call here. If it ended at 7:16 exactly, well, wow, I mean, look at that. And if this time is correct as far as connection time, 7:16 and 43 seconds, well, that's when it was placed, though, so that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if it ended at, no, because there was 40 seconds. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. There was 40 seconds of screaming. You can hear right that first scream right when she connects. It's not a scream, it's like a yell. I don't know what they say, but they say something. They're words, but I don't know what the words are. And I don't know who it is. I got a guess, but I'm not going to say it. Alright, so I mean, if this is true, if they connected at 7:16 and 43 seconds, then we got, 7:17. Well, see, I mean, it's possible, but I have to, we'll have to get that incident report. Then we'll know for sure. All right, so where does that all leave us? Like I said, it was, when we look at the times from George's call, when did Trayvon start running? 7:11:41. It's at 2 minutes and 6 seconds into the phone call. And he says he ran. So that's 30 seconds later. And then the end of the call is about 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Is the end of the call. So I believe he made it to that point around that area of that T section, somewhere in that area, where he indicated to the dispatcher he ran. And a minute and a half later, so that's really that's actually 2 minutes. So we start from the running, 2:06 to what? To almost 4:06. So 2 minutes from the moment Trayvon ran to the moment George ends his call with dispatch. 2 minutes. How much long after that till they met remains to be seen. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, if you want to say that was a chase, that really what amounts to 20 seconds of what I believe is George traveling down this sidewalk until here to look down this path, if you want to call that a chase, all right. When people say, oh, well, he said he followed Trayvon. Well, yeah, but if I'm correct, and George was sitting in his truck, we all agree on that, when Trayvon ran, and it took George 7-8 seconds to get out of the car. Right. Trayvon was more than likely already gone, already out of George's sight before he even got out. So what was he following? Yeah, well, he was going, in his mind, he's going down the same path Trayvon went. But he's not following like, I got him in my sights, I'm going to get him. I mean, he did exactly what he did the first time Trayvon ran. He did exactly what he did the first time Trayvon ran. Except the first time, he drove because he was on the street. Whereas this time, he had to go down a sidewalk, so he had to walk. But he did exactly what he did before earlier. I believe. Yeah. So, anyways, and also I wanted to say, you listen to Dee Dee's call, the investigator makes sure she's very specific on this. Does Trayvon even know that George got out of his truck? No. He doesn't know. According to Dee Dee. He doesn't know. When he took off running, did he see George get out of his truck or anything like that? No. He just ran from a guy sitting in his car. Now, other people argue the legalities of all this, that it's pointless. Yeah, I'm not arguing the legal aspect. Okay, I'm just arguing what we believe. Some people say it doesn't really matter. All that stuff is legal what George did. Okay, fine. You can argue the legal aspect all you want. Go right ahead. Because they say, well, what matters is the physical violence that happened and whether or not George believed he had no choice and all that legal stuff they talk about. Okay, well, they can go and talk about that. Anyways, so yeah, the minutes, we know it was at least 2 minutes from the moment Trayvon ran to the moment George got off the phone, and then it could be as much as a minute or 2 minutes or even 3 minutes or whatever after that. So who knows? We'll figure it out more once we get more information or just talk about it more. All right, so that's it. Peace out, my brothers, sisters, everybody.